Hey guys, and welcome back. This is Chosen Architect, and yes, this is a giant furnace behind me, and today we're going to be continuing to get more of the items for that all-month star. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today we are still striving for that all-money star. By the way, the jiggling of the head, let's just say that this was a quest reward, the Gaia Guardian head, which I've never had the Gaia Guardian head, so it's kind of cool to wear. Like, it's your actual skin, because the Gaia Guardian takes on your skin, but it's like dark and jiggly. It's kind of cool. All right, anyways, now Philosopher's Fuel. I've already got the sulfuric acid bucket. We need to make a fire moat, which is from the Mana and Artifice, no big deal, but the potassium nitrate block, that is what I have listed here. That is kind of an interesting crafting recipe that we have to get. We have to do a couple of things. We have to make a multi-block grinder from Immersive Engineering, just make a crusher, and that is going to get us one of the ingredients for this potassium nitrate, which is nitrate. And then we also need the potassium. The potassium is what's weird. This comes from the jumbo smelter. And so we are going to need 64 of, like, I guess, all the different types of foods, or like 64 of like a specific type of food, like lettuce or whatever, and throw that in here, and that is going to smelt up and create this recipe. It's been a while since I played on this, but I do want to mess around with this jumbo furnace today. And furnace, let's go ahead and make some furnaces. I think we need, how many does it say we need? We need a 3x3x3 cube, so 27 total furnaces to make this one thing. Like, that's just crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and place all these. I think the multi-block automatically forms, or you might actually need a tool. I don't remember. Nope, it automatically forms. So here we go. Now, we need a plant or something. Now, I don't know if it said specifically what the plant was that we needed in order to make this stuff. That's the potassium nitrate. I need the actual potassium. It's gonna like show all these different recipes, by the way, in order to get this stuff. Like this dust. How do I get this? Okay. So let me go ahead and save that. So yeah, okay, we can use carrots, potatoes. Okay. And I think we have all the stuff to be able to do this. Now it also requires fuel, I believe, just like any other furnace. Let's drop in some coal. And 1, 2, 3. That is what we're looking for. And we should be able to get the potassium nitrate, I think. Does it automatically do? It does it. Look at that. There's one potassium nitrate. So, that's not bad at all. We only need so much of it. Like, we only need enough to make a single block. So it's not a huge deal to be able to make this thing. Awesome. But hey, this is how to make this stuff. Now, the other thing we need to make is going to require some steel. So I'm going to go ahead and collapse this up, as we are going to need to get regular nitrate. Now, regular nitrate, dust, and you can use that. You need a bunch of dust to combine into one ingot. But I think we might be able to combine this in other ways. Can we make like a potassium nitrate dust mixture? Yes. And then this dust, so that dust still equals the same amount. So it's going to be the same regardless, I guess. So we are going to need a little bit of this nitrate dust. But I guess we can get like a saltpeter essence. So once we have enough of it, we can just make this seed, which is probably what I'm going to do. A lot of things are going to be easier making a seed. So yeah, how do we get this stuff? Well, the only way that there exists is going to be using crushed sandstone inside of this fantastic crusher, and it's a multi-block. So, time for the projector. We need to grab our projector again. I don't know if I threw it in a bag. Probably just threw it away. Immersive Engineering projector, and that's really it, because everything else we can just autocraft. So, let's go ahead and get this crusher made. So making this thing is actually really easy. I mean, it's a super simple block, so long as you have all the materials, and like I have everything set up to be auto-crafted. So Immersive Engineering is pretty much a breeze when it comes to setting these up. Now, it should show me where to click here. At least I believe. It's just like on this block. This block. It's one of these blocks. There we go. And that completes it. So we can get rid of the projector now. We don't really need it anymore, nor do I need any of these blocks. And all we need is a point. And we're going to need some way to throw these items in. We can use a dropper. We can just toss them in ourselves. And we also need a chest. Probably a larger chest. And I'll just use a double chest for right now. And I can just plop that in the back. That's where it's going to output. This is where the power needs to go. And we can just select our main power. By the way, ignore the red power port because that was when I was using another, like a battery. But with as big as our setup is now, I don't really need a battery. It's got a pretty large internal buffer. So anyways, enough of that mumbo jumbo. We need to hop in here and make some sandstone. So let's make a whole bunch of sandstone, and I'm just going to throw it all inside here. Just like this. Easiest way to do that. Just toss it all in. There we go. And just let it do its thing. Hopefully it builds up enough nitrate that I can make a seed out of it. That is the ultimate goal, right? And there we go. You can see the nitrate dust. And I'm going to work on the other project, and that's going to be creating this one block. I know. And while we're waiting on all this stuff to process and do its thing, let's go ahead and get into Ars Novu. So getting started with the Ars Novu mod, we need to definitely just make the book, the documentation on this mod. It is honestly the best thing that you could do. So definitely read up on this mod if you haven't already. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of information about everything. And since the last time I've played with this mod, there has been new things added, and of course all the textures have been completely revamped, which they look really good, by the way. So enchantability stuff is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be doing like some kind of enchanting stuff. We're going to be talking about the base mechanics, getting ourselves going with all kinds of cool stuff that this mod has to offer. Now, we basically need to generate mana, and we also need to do a few other things, right? To be able to make these crafts, we need a glyph press, right? So let me go ahead and add that. A glyph press is going to require arcane stone. And for that, well, we just need stone and a lot of mana gems, which we have tons of mana gems. Those have just been building up and building up and building up and building up. So glyph press, pretty straightforward in its crafting recipe. Nothing too crazy about that. Now, it doesn't work though without mana. So we are going to need a way to get mana. And I think one of the best ways is going to be one that uses plant growth as a way to generate this mana that we need. So for that, we are going to need to make a mana condenser. This is going to take like world events. It does some weird stuff. It also works, I believe, with animals and stuff, but like crop growths, I believe it will reach. I don't know how far the reach is. I definitely want to go ahead and check that. If I can place it here and I can get it to actually reach that farm there, that would be amazing. It does reach that farm. Okay, it does look like it's only reaching like a certain part of it. But by the way, the glyph press is not what it needs to go under. It needs to go on top of a mana jar. So let's go ahead and grab a mana jar. It's somewhere here. There it is. Mana jar, and place that underneath it. Now mana will start to build up. Now this glyph press can go next to this mana jar, as this will actually utilize the mana that this is building up, and it will utilize that mana in this glyph press. And that's the major part of this mod, is being able to create these glyphs and use them to create your own spells. And luckily for us, we should be able to get into this spell, not the creative spell book, but this spell book. Hopefully we can get into it. Totem of Undying, we can actually craft this. Ooh, compressed block of emeralds ×2. Ooh, that's pretty rough. An invoker. I don't think there's any good way for us to spawn an invoker either. I don't know if there's a way to create a raid. Maybe with another mod I'm thinking of. But I guess we can just go ahead and make this thing. Yeah, it's not going to be too difficult to make a villager spawn egg, right? Yeah, they fixed the bug that I had before. We should be able to do this. I mean, if anything, we'll just crash. Well, let's test it out. Can we mob swab in the opposite hand? I punched it. I did not mean to punch it. Can I swab it? Come here, buddy. Shift. Oh, it works. But we can no longer shift right click to pick you up. I don't know how the I don't know if that system works anymore. I don't know how to get you into an item anymore. Oh, well. Hey, but we got the mob swab of it, and that's all that matters, because with this, we can now craft it. So we need a bucket, and we just fill this with experience, which we already have right here. So this, and a seed. And that gets us our GM feed. And this, like if you've seen any other time, this will get us that actual spawn egg for the villager. Luckily, we have a couple of donation chickens. Oh, it's so good. Every time it just gets me. Makes me want to tear up, actually. Here in the Happy Birthday, Darko. All right, so now that we have this, we can actually move on to making that spell book, because I kind of want to play around with the tie-in spell book. And just like that, Totem of Undying. Perfect. Now, the only other thing we need on this is another star. We do need the lower tier books, it looks like. Magic spell. Or sorry, it requires the mage's spell. That is going to be this recipe, and then the novice spell book, which is just a bunch of iron tools. Upgrade process, pretty simple. Pretty simple. There we go. And we have the arcane spell book. Nice. So inside this, we already have a few things. We have the harm, break, and touch. And we have the ability to swap these and have like up to 10 different ones. Now, one that we can do right off the bat that it gives us is break and touch. So we can set touch and break, change the spell name to, I don't know, block, break. And it actually does what it says. So if we create, oh, I did not create it. Touch and then break. And then hit create. That should, yeah, it's under break. And now, whatever I touch, as you can see, instant breaks. And it does use a little bit of the mana. So, like I said, this mod is pretty cool actually early on. Like it's actually a really good mod to start off with. I, of course, didn't really mess with it early on, but that's primarily because last time I played all the mods, 6, I did play with this like first. And like, I can definitely say, because all the textures were actually totally different. But there is I mean, this mod can get really powerful. I actually like this over the Mana and Artifice mod, just because of the simplicity of this one. So now that we're diving even further into this mod, let's talk a little bit about enchanting and how we're going to do that with this mod. And it's also very simple. We're going to need an enchanting apparatus. We're also going to need some arcane pedestals. I'm going to go ahead and make 8 of them if I can, or 9. We'll go ahead and make 9. I only need 8, I believe. And then we also need an arcane core that goes underneath this thing. So we have an arcane apparatus and core. And let's see if I can go ahead and place this in a way that's not going to be weird. I think it might be able to reach from over there. So let's place it here. And then the apparatus on top, just like that. And then we can place the pedestals around. I don't know if they have to be right up on it. We'll find that out. But this is kind of the setup that you're going to use for enchanting stuff. And of course, it does need to come from this mana jar. So hopefully that mana jar reaches over to there. We'll find out. If not, I'll move the mana jar. But anyways, like I said, we have some crafts that we need to make. This is the jar of voiding. This is an item scroll allow. So just some string. Oh, by the way, we need to make mana fiber. That's something that I haven't even gotten into. So we're gonna need mana gems and we're gonna need some kind of seed. And this is an enchanting recipe. So something like this and that one seed. So go ahead and make this stuff. Ours. Let's grab the mana gems and the seed. And I believe that it is 4 gems like this, and then the seed in the middle, and that right there, as you can see, is doing the craft. And that got us the bloom seed that we need. So, I mean, that's exactly the thing we have to go through. Now, I believe bone meal would work for this. I think. Yes, it does work. So definitely set here and I'm going to bone meal this because we need all of this stuff we can possibly get. Like, the more the merrier. So here we go. Pretty simple. On this recipe, we do need paper. But I mean, that is going to generate the blank parchment, and then we need a chest. Good old-fashioned chest. And apparently that goes there to create a allow scroll. That's just one of the items we're going to need. The rest is going to be this. Now we can go ahead and start the craft for this. I should be able to pull all the items out. Oh, which is so nice. Now, I don't know. I think the glass bottle is the last item, so everything else goes in here. And then the bottle is going to be the last item, such as like the seed was earlier. So let's go ahead and throw this in. Place that there. Ender pearl. Don't think it matters where they're at. And then last but not least, that goes in there. Man, what a cool, like, I love the animations of some of these mods. It just blows my mind. And there we go. We have the jar of voiding. Now, I want to look it up and show you exactly what this item does, because of course it does have a use outside of actually being a crafting recipe. So what it allows us to do is void items. You can see active yes or no. Basically, when we pick up items, it'll restore mana to us and void those items off. Basically turning like mob drops, for example, into mana. And so, I mean, it's kind of a useful item. I'm not going to be using it because it's going to be a crafting recipe, but I did just want to go ahead and show you that. Now, the void sigil, like I said, we're getting pretty close to the end here. This was one of the items, but this is another thing, the wither glyph. We actually need to make this thing, and actually not even use it, which is kind of funny because this right here, let's see, we got to go all the way through the crafting recipe. I'm going to go ahead and make an auto crafting recipe for all these things, so that way I can just plow through this a lot faster. So let's do this. To be able to make the wither glyph, luckily enough for me, I've already kind of, you know, handled the wither skeleton skull situation, because I kind of stopped my wither production so I could get some skulls. But this right here, we can just craft one. Bam, that should take a second to do. Now what we got to do is place this in the glyph press. So we place this first and then place the head, and that is going to activate the press. And look at this. Really cool animation, like I said. And there's our item. Like, that's literally all we need. I believe I have everything we need to make the Wither's Compass. There we go. So you're seeing this live here, the Wither's Compass just made. And it's going to go right there. I believe that is where that item goes. Yes. Now, the pulsating void. Like I said, this is going to be the longest thing to craft because of the void miner. But the sigil shouldn't be something that's too hard to make. That is going to require me to upgrade my blood magic altar to its next tier, which just requires like a little bit of work. Like nothing at all, actually. So we are back to blood magic, but it's not super bad, right? We can just, you know, we can fill our LP tank pretty quickly. Fill it with life points. Now, we should be upgrading this. So let's go ahead and actually upgrade this to a tier 2 altar, because that's all we need to be able to progress is to go to a tier 2 altar. And for that, we need just some runes. Basically utilizing those runes that we made last time we played around with blood magic. Now this altar is a tier 2. So what do we need to upgrade and to get to the next item? Well, we need basically one upgraded rune here. And of course we have a bunch of runes over here. I'm going to go ahead and break this because we don't need it at the moment. I'm just going to go ahead and place this one rune in here and let it upgrade to the tier 2 one, because it's all we need. It's literally all we need for the reagent. And we also need a redstone block. Let's see. This should turn blue once it's done, by the way. And we can also accelerate this. There we go. Just accelerate it a little bit. There you go. And as you can see, it did upgrade. Now we also need a block of redstone. And that is going to get us the next tier of our blood orb that we're going to use for the crafting over here. So let's go ahead and get that. Make sure this is nice and filled up. Place that on there. And I think that should be enough. There's 5,000 LP required. I think this automatically holds 10,000 LP by default. So 5,000 LP shouldn't be anything for this to consume. I'll even speed it up a little bit. And of course, we can always fill it up so fast. It's kind of crazy. Oh, we can also see it build up there. Awesome. So there we go. This is the next tier, which is the Apprentice Blood Orb. Of course, we need to right-click it and activate it and use it ourselves. Look at that. It's just crazy how quick I'm clicking and it just doesn't, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, I definitely need to fill it up because we're going to be making this void reagent. So we need an empty bucket and a few things. Let's see. Can I pull those items in my inventory? Yes, I can. Perfect. So let's go ahead and throw those items in here and then make sure we use the right apprentice blood orb. And that is going to generate the item we need. Now, while we're waiting on this, I believe we have the ash laying around, or it's in my bag or something. Don't remember. Oh, it's in my bag. Okay, so we need our arcane ashes. And if you remember, you place it down, and then we are going to activate this with the reagent, like so. And then we throw in the slate, our brand new one, and this is going to give us that void sigil. I know, there's a... So I hate to like jump the gun on all these mods, but like to be able to get this item, you really have to have a knowledge, or at least a basic knowledge, of almost every single mod in this pack. And it's crazy that the only mod that I really didn't understand is this one right here, Mana and Artifice. So and even now I have definitely a basic understanding of Mana and Artifice, so I could kind of get through that next time I have to do it. But as far as blood magic goes, like, I would call myself an advanced blood magic user. I've played through blood magic all the way to its completion and late game and all kinds of craziness. So blood magic is actually, you know, one of the mods that I consider pretty tame as far as that goes. It's been around for a long time. So now that we have these, we can complete the last thing, right? No, we're far from it. We're far from that item that we need, which is this thing right here, the pulsating black hole. We have everything except for this thing right here now. So we have all of this done. Everything's ready to go except for this tier 8. And I think that we're almost nearing done on everything. I guess the last thing would be this right here, right? We just need that moat, and we just need the potassium nitrate block, which we're about to make. So I've done a few upgrades, just a couple of upgrades to our farm. I went ahead and just like my other farm over here, is it this one? No, it's this one over here, right here. So this is the first one I kind of tested the lily pads with, and you guys have definitely told me in the comments that this is the best way to go about making this crop. But I decided to up the ante on the lily pads and make them more frequent, and they're even faster. Just testing it on this crop over here alone. This is also incredibly fast as well. Also with all these upgrades, like it's really nice. Like I like how fast that actually is. And that just makes it so I don't have to have as many crop farms. They just get really overwhelming. But I think I have enough of this. I went ahead and just set up some really like janky setup here with just a storage drawer that I was just, you know, filling with potatoes. And hey, I think this is enough. I think we only need 40. I have this beautiful calculator, and I think if I'm doing the math right, it'll be 9 times 9, right? And it gives 81. And then with this calculator, you can also use your numpad, which is fantastic, by the way. I need this in like every pack I play, so I don't have to use like an actual calculator, because you know what? Don't judge me. Anyways, and then we just divide this by 2 and gives us 40. So we don't need, you know, we only need like 40 something, 42, something like that. So we should be able to be good. I think we don't even need to use the seed, even though I did make the seed for the potassium, for the nitrate stuff over here. I love how like this all turned into an episode where I made all of this stuff and like had no need to make it. So yeah, what do we need to do after this? I think I need a combiner. And I think I've already made the combiner, didn't I? Combiner. I think I made all the stuff to make it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we just need to hook this into some power, and this thing is ready to go. Because this is actually going to double our recipe, so we don't need as much of this. I recommend doing it this way. I'm going to show you probably the best way I think that's going to be the use case for this. So let's hook it up to some power. I'm going to just place it right here for right now. And we put this in the bottom and this in the top, and this is going to combine up. Let's get some speed upgrades and some energy upgrades. Let's make a couple of more energy upgrades. Why not? They're practically free. Just requires crafting time. Like, they're basically free. So yeah, we can shift upgrade. By the way, somebody mentioned that there was actually like better upgrade kits. I don't think so. I don't think there's better upgrade kits. These I don't know, maybe there are. I just haven't used them yet. But look at this. So this should, because it's giving us double, we should be able to get the, like, let's see, was it 80 something that we need? It'd be 9 times 9, right? 81. So yeah, we are going to need 81 of these, which is 64 plus 17. That's perfect. There's our 64, and then we just need 17 of these. And that's our blocks, guys. Like, that's literally, we're literally watching this be crafted. This is probably one of the things that's going to catch a lot of people off guard when they're trying to craft this star. They're going to be like, wait, I have to make this thing? And then they realize exactly what it is, and they're like, oh, that's a whole lot of weirdness for one block. So I love the fact that this was even like thought up as an idea for this section here. So while that's all been running, I have been working on some other stuff, but this, I think we can go ahead and craft this. I think I have everything available. Like, I just got to make the moat real quick and, you know, be on with my life. And you thought I was done with mana and artifice. Oh, were you wrong? By the way, you have to do this in the nether, by the way. But boy, is it so cool. I wanted to show this. Oh, look how sick this is. It's like a fire tornado. What? Oh, that's sick. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorites by far. There we go. Let's get that mode of fire, and voila, we have that mode of fire, and that's literally all we had to do to get that. Oh, here's a buddy. Get wrecked. So I may have looked over something very, very minute and thought that it was actually wanting a block of coal coke from immersive engineering. Yeah, I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. Anita's the Philosopher Fuels actually needs a block of coke, which comes from thermal series. And guys, I know the comments, oh god. But anyways, coke. Yeah, we have to make coke. It's just coal. It goes in here. It's really simple, actually. And it creates tar balls and creosote oil. But the creosote, that's from actual, like, thermal series. So all we have to do this is just, I believe, coal. Like, I don't know if it'll accept a coal block. I can try. Will it take a coal block? Nope. But it only takes coal. It takes regular coal. And how nice of it to let me speed this up. And bam. We have 9. And there is that block that we need. So here's all the items that we need, minus the one that's already in the pedestal itself. And guys, we're about to make one more of the several items that we need in order to make this. Like, we're getting pretty close. Like, you gotta admit, like, come on, we're getting pretty close. So here is the things that we need, and we just have to throw it in here, right? Prentice blood orb. Hopefully we don't need like a full one. I don't know like how much blood this actually needs in it. Maybe it does need to be completely full. Bucket of napalm, sulfuric acid bucket, and LPG bucket. That is everything it needs. Master, magician, apprentice. So it does take the apprentice. I'm thinking that it needs to probably be completely full of blood. That's probably what I'm thinking. Now, I believe this was a complete oversight on my part. This actually requires 50,000 life points. We only have 25 that we can actually access. I did make a sigil, a divination sigil. This basically allows me to see how much life points I have in my actual like tank. And then also when I hover over here, you can see in the top left, it does show me how much is inside of my actual tank here. Now, I need to get this up to 50,000 because that's what it requires for that craft, which is, you know, not crazy by any stretch, but I think it does mean upgrading to the next tier. And I don't even know if the next tier supports 50,000. I hope it does. I'm trying to fill this up because to get to the next tier, let's see, orb. We have an apprentice. We need to go to the magician's blood orb. It's going to be a block of gold and 25 life essence. If you remember, this actually only holds 10,000 at the moment. I would have to upgrade around here to be able to add the capacity, but I think I can probably get by with this on its own. And just by spam clicking this to keep it full, I think it's going to totally be able to work. However, it's not at a tier 3 yet, so it's not doing anything. To get to tier 3 altar, I have to build this and then place these caps on here. And now, if I look at this with the divination sigil, it should now be a tier 3 altar when I click on it. You can see it tells me. And, well, now we can go ahead and place this in and, well, not that, this. And I'm just going to stand here and I'm going to continue to self-sacrifice as, this upgrades to the next orb. And hopefully that gives me a capacity. I just don't remember if it does or not. So here's our next tier. Now, if I click this and I look, I don't know the exact storage, but I'm going to continue to use this. And hopefully it goes up to 50. That'd be really nice. Thank goodness. It definitely goes to 50. It actually goes higher than 50. Oh, which is perfect because now it will actually craft. And we are crafting that final item. And I didn't have to go super, super deep into blood magic in order to achieve that. Oh, it feels good to have this item. And we're getting ever so close. Ever so close. I believe this is the spot. Ever so close to completing this whole setup. Of course, I do want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And that, of course, is going to go to, if I can find the spot, there we go, Austin Young. I think I said that right. Be sure to correct me in the comments if I said it wrong. Thank you so much, by the way, for your amazing support and going like super above and beyond over on Patreon. Like, I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for your amazing support. And guys, if you're interested in becoming a Patreon yourself, of course, you can find that link down in the description below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video a huge thumbs up. That frog right there will smack you down if you don't give this video a thumbs up. I promise you, he will definitely smack you down. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.